Police are not releasing the name of the man who was shot on the 300 block of Stinson Avenue, but News Channel 5 is confirming that the man's name is Matthew Jacoby Carbajal after speaking with his mother. The Pokes got off to a slow start in the first half, but put it together in half number 2 to get a victory on Senior Day and become bowl eligible. The Squirrel Creek fire began on Saturday afternoon and in just a matter of days has spread rapidly due to extremely dry conditions and these high winds. In fact, in just the time we've been out here, we've been able to actually watch the fire spread along this mountain behind us, and we've been watching helicopters dropping buckets of water. I'm here at 3322 Duff Avenue, where residents of this apartment building right behind me were notified that they had to vacate the building by the end of the day. Early Tuesday morning, a white Volkswagen van carrying a family of 5 and this Carbon County emergency response vehicle that you can see behind me both tumbled off a section of Wyoming Highway 130 that had been washed away by flash flooding in Brush Creek. This work being done on the 16th Street median next to the Deneen building is being done in hopes to create a more welcoming entrance to downtown Cheyenne. Ashley Bird is only 4 months away from getting her associate's degree as a paralegal, and this bag to keep her school supplies in is one of the only things remaining from this devastating fire. Residents here on Jefferson Avenue have experienced standing water before, but never as bad as you see here. The shooter's wife came out of that mobile home over there, where she ran across the street and into this neighbor's yard, where she was bleeding from gunshot wounds to her foot and arm. It was a unique opportunity for media and public officials to suit up in full firefighter gear and experience all aspects of what these guys really do for a living. Getting to ride in one of these World War II era airplanes is a special treat for almost anyone, but for a couple Cheyenne World War II veterans, it's something they won't soon forget. Daryl Fisher gives seniors in assisted living a chance to fly in a World War II era biplane. He first tried the idea this April, flying his biplane from Mississippi to Oregon with his dad.
It was such a rewarding experience that in June, my wife and I formed Ageless Aviation Dreams Foundation so that I can do this more.
Daryl had decided to contact Sierra Hills and Aspen Wind because he was familiar with them through his 20 years experience in senior housing. 2 of the seniors he took up today were World War II veterans. Neither one of them could contain their smiles after completing their flights.
Oh, I loved it. I really did. It was awesome. I don't get up there very often.
Oh, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I really loved it.
For Daryl, it was his honor to do what he could for those that served.
I told them, guys, I want to thank you for your service to our country. And so they said, you know, it was a duty, it was an honor to serve, and they were incredibly appreciative.
Joseph Baker is 96 years old and a former pilot. He hadn't flown in 25 years.
He let me fly it, and I did a pretty good job keeping the horizon.
Yeah.
And my turns were pretty smooth.
You could see the smile on his face and the joy, and when we get out, Joseph said, you know, I never thought I'd ever fly again. I mean, that's priceless.
Even though Daryl just started this program in April, word has spread so fast that he's already getting requests from all over the country and has already begun planning his schedule for 2012. In Cheyenne, Kyle Markley, CBS News Channel 5. Thanks to the firefighting efforts on Tuesday night, there was more than one reason to celebrate for some evacuees of the Squirrel Creek fire. Those that live along Highway 230 in Jelm and Woods Landing were notified on Wednesday morning that they would be going home. Residents along the east side of Sheep Mountain to Lake Hattie and the Wild Horse subdivision also received the good news.
This morning, being able to give the news, especially to those residents that have been affected and get many of them back in, is just a wonderful news. I'm talking to them today. They get to barbecue this evening for 4th of July.
Dennis and Karen Green get to return home to a house they didn't know if they'd ever see again.
The fire was within about a mile of our home, and the other night we didn't think we'd get to go home, and now we do. And it's a good 4th of July.
It's a situation they've been through with friends who had been evacuated in Colorado, but it's still something they never expected to happen to them. They couldn't be more thankful to those who saved their home.
I will never, ever again take firefighters for granted, ever, or our law enforcement personnel. They've all been there for us. I'll never take them for granted again.
Others, like Mike Sontag, a resident of Fox Creek Road, are still playing the waiting game.
It's the unknowns. Getting information fast enough, I think, is the most difficult part. You hear rumors faster than you hear the facts.
Sontag already lost a camper, but he has heard his home is still safe. He compared the site when he evacuated to something out of a movie.
The ambers and the ashes and stuff were blowing like a tornado across the highway, and the fire was at the edge of the highway.
While the estimated 500 people on the ground have made progress the last few days, Albany County Sheriff David O'Malley warns the fire remains unpredictable.
Although we're excited people are going home, the reality is that things could change, and we may be back doing the same thing over again.
The Pokes got off to a slow start in the first half, but put it together in half number 2 to get a victory on senior day and become bowl eligible.
I think it was just a sense of urgency. We just wanted to get things going. We were pretty frustrated with our performance, so we kind of wanted to kick it into overdrive. And I think that was just the attitude of everybody in the locker room.
I think I made a point when I came here 2 years ago that my expectation was to go to a bowl every year. And, so we're in our second one in 3 years, so, my hat's off to our staff for as hard as they've worked to put us in this position.
Even though the Pokes became bowl eligible with the win, the players still aren't satisfied.
It's fine to be bowl eligible. You still got 2 more weeks of football left. And, I asked those guys, I said, now, are we all satisfied? Because this is what we wanted. And there wasn't one guy in that locker room that's satisfied.
The season's not done. And we're still looking forward, to the last few games. I mean, these are huge games against Boise State and Colorado State. How can you not get excited for those?
With the win today, the Cowboys continue to prove all the preseason predictors wrong.
Who cares where they pick you? All I care about is where we finish. It doesn't matter. It's all based upon perception. And, I guess from the outside looking in, perception wasn't very good. But the good news is we recruited good players.
Well, that's a wrap from the regular season here at War Memorial, but the Pokes still have 2 more regular season games to go. First next week at Boise, then the Border War at Fort Collins. Reporting in Laramie, Kyle Markley, CBS News Channel 5. Thanks, Tony and Kara. Well, the Bison took the field tonight with their first ever senior class. Still in the hunt for that first 4A win. South at home taking on the Natrona County Mustangs. Natrona will get on the board in a hurry coming up right here on their second offensive play of the season. Josh Flanagan takes the handoff, and he won't even get touched. 70 yards to the house, 7-0 Mustangs. Then it's Natrona quarterback Brecken Biggs on the read option. I don't think South lays a finger on him either. Right down the South sideline, 77 yards. 21-0 Mustangs. South would get a little offense going in the second quarter. Quarterback Zach Wilkinson hits Andy Moite for a first down. And then it's Wilkinson pitching to Devin Nunez. Nice little run up the sideline for another first down. Unfortunately, the drive would stall. But here's Andy Moite again taking it back. He's going to return that interception from Brecken Biggs. And you see Biggs goes and makes the tackle there. He's going to return deep into Natrona territory. But unfortunately, South would drop this one 69-8. Also, we'd like to let you know, late in the first half, South quarterback Zach Wilkinson left on a stretcher after being hit while throwing a pass. He did give the thumbs up sign while leaving the field, so let's hope everything's okay with him. Anthony will have an update on Wilkinson's condition next week.